Coming at you with another video, ladies and gentlemen. This time it pertains to the Step Brothers, but I'm no longer going to call them that. I'm going to call them brothers. These two are now officially brothers. There you go. I'm going to put that little overlay there. I am so happy after 6.5 seasons and all these years. Finally, these two have each other's backs. And look, you know, for everyone that calls me a Robby fanboy, this, that, whatever, I've gone on record to say many times, I want Miguel to shine too. It's just, you'd be biased to say there isn't a landslide in moments. Miguel has had way more than Robby, and I've stood by that for ages. Robby has consistently been shat on the entire show, constantly getting second place, constantly playing second fiddle to other characters. Robby has to go to his own father for his father to apologize to. Like, it's a whole thing. But focusing specifically just on the dynamic of these two, I am so happy with how far both of these two have come. And I tell you what, I got exactly what I wanted. Robby and Quan, untouched. I don't care. Like, this is the thing. Yes, we love Miguel to pieces and it would be cool to see him fight Quan, sure. But the emotional, when you make a fight personal, it's better. Leave it to Robby and Quan, and they did, and I'm so happy. And Miguel was the one person to push him. Now, where I'm going to give Robby some flack, I know, buckle up. Just stop looking at Tori. Stop looking at Tori. I get it the first time when him and Quan had their first interaction in the first event, in the Protect the Captains one. The second one was contrived. And the third one, when he's like up on the freaking thing, and then Miguel has that brilliant 2v1 moment where he knocks Dublin Thunder right on their ass. He sees Tori from like freaking 3 miles away. I'm like, can you stop doing this thing in Cobra Kai where you make a character look at another character and then they just conveniently like, I don't like, stop it. Like, honestly, they did it 3 times, you know, and let me know if I'm wrong and they did it more, but it was really freaking irritating. And there was a part of me that was like, Robby, can you get your shit together? Like, please, come on. I get it. Heartbreak hurts, but for God's sake. Now, I'm always of the notion of, yes, Tori said a pause, but I'm just going to keep it real. If you have to pause during a relationship, to me, I see that as even a temporary breakup. It's going to hurt. Feelings are involved. Things are at play. And I've never once known of a break, you know, or a pause that didn't end up in a complete. Again, I could be wrong, but you know, come on, let's be real. So naturally, Robby's got heartache on top of everything, and Miguel's the one person to go, get your shit together. And I love that Miguel pushes him. The scene in the hallway where Miguel's like, you know what being captain would have meant for me? It would have changed my life. All of that great scene, and Sholo and Tanner killed it. I love that Robby tells Miguel straight, yeah, it can also change my life too. It's not always about you, which is something I think a lot of people need to hear way more of. And then immediately, Miguel's like, okay, cool, be that as it may, but you're also going to be the reason that we go home with nothing, even though you won the captain's headband. So either man up, get your shit together, or give me the headband. And I love that because it's a dynamic where he's giving him tough love. Robby will listen to no one else except Miguel. Miguel will be the one person to drive it out of him. He would, like, if Hawk tells him, it's not going to hit the same. If Sam tells him, it's not going to hit the same. But his rival, the guy that he's been battling against this entire show, is basically saying, right, get it together. And when Miguel comes in, he never cared about, like, obviously Miguel cares about the captain's headband. But the thing is, what's the theme of this show? Fathers and sons. It's not always about the karate. Miguel doesn't care about the captain's, you know, spot as much as everyone thinks he does. He cares more about Johnny valuing him as a son, because now there's a new brother dynamic. It's not about, oh, Robby beat me in a fight. Miguel's way above that. Miguel, don't disrespect Miguel. Miguel is the GOAT of the show. Like, you put him in a fight with anyone, the dude's coming out with a clutch win 90% of the time. Like, the dude's a G. He doesn't care if Robby beats him in a fight. That's not the issue. The issue is when he's standing there and he sees Johnny putting the captain's headband on Robby, he's thinking, that should be me. And he's also more disappointed in himself. It's less to do about Robby and more to do with Johnny and the fact that there's a father-son dynamic that Miguel and Johnny have had for, I'd say, since the start of the show, since they first ever met. And the minute they're on the plane, and both, you know, Sholo and Billy Zabka killed this scene, as they always do. You know, when Johnny says to him, "You're my son too," like, I got choked up. You know, the day when part 3 drops, I better see Miguel stop calling him sensei. The minute Miguel calls Johnny dad, I'm done. I'm going to be bawling like a baby. Like it's the dynamic between these two. These two are one of my favorite duos in the whole of pop culture. You know, is the back and forth a bit annoying at times? Sure. Can the fan bases of Miguel and Robby get quite toxic? Oh yeah, don't I know? Oh boy, do I know. But at the same time, I love their dynamic. I love their back and forth, and I love the fact that they have this really heartwarming scene. It's one of my favorite scenes in the whole show when Robbie's like, "I'm the one who lost the match." Me storms off, and it's objectively true. He lost the match. Miguel goes after him and says, "Get you know, come on, you can do this. You're a leader." Now, for me, where I think people get the term leader messed up is I think leader means singular. No, leader can be plural. And yes, Robby is the captain and makes decisions, but a leader is only as strong as the people around them. Optimus Prime is only as strong as Bumblebee will allow him to be. Dominic Toretto is only as strong as Brian O'Connor allows him to be. Hell, Will Turner's only as strong as Jack Sparrow allows him to be. Goku's only as strong as Vegeta allows him to be. Iron Man's only as strong as Captain America allows him to be. One complements the other. It goes hand in hand. And to me, it's not only one of my favorite duos in the show, but in just all of pop culture in general. I think there's so many conversations you could have around Robby and Miguel, you know, especially echoing back to season 5 when Johnny says, with both of you on the same page, we may have a chance. The reason that they're brothers and that they have each other's backs is going to be the reason that they win. Miguel motivated Robby to beat Quan, and Robby will inevitably motivate Miguel to beat Axel. It goes hand in hand. It's one hand washes the other. One literally backs the other up. That's how it works. And they win it not just as rivals, not just as Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do, but they win it as brothers. They win it as family. I pity the fool that has to knock on the door in, like, I'd say 20 years from now to Johnny's little daughter as Robby and Miguel are standing there. Like, I wouldn't want to knock that door. You know, and I think there's a good ending in store for both of these characters. I think Miguel will most likely get his Stanford trip. He'll go to college. And I think Robby, it's quite obvious, he's being groomed for a sensei role. He's going to be a sensei. And, you know, because of their efforts together, they bring it home together. Now, Miguel will most likely have the final dub against Axel in part 3. But, you know, and along with what many other people have said, at least I feel like Robby is going to be the reason Miguel can win. Because Robby will find the weakness that Axel has and go, Miguel, use this. And then Miguel's going to have to go through a battering against Axel to get to the end. But because Robby has weakened Axel, it allows Miguel the door to finish him off. And both Miguel and Robby's fighting styles complement the other. Miguel is more offensive, Robby is more defensive. So when they fight Axel across 2 separate matches, there's a yin and yang there. There's so many elements to these characters I could talk for days about. I freaking love these two. And do you know what? I'm so proud of the both of them. Because, and I'm going to get a bit personal here. Being 27 now and going through what I have in life, seeing these two come together and work it out and have each other's backs, it just reminds me of the connections I have with some of my closest friends. And anyone watching this, you can all know that one friend that's got your back. Or hell, even the friend that who's not like, you know, your Kenny or your Dimitri or your Hawk, but they're your motivator. They're your anchor. They're the person that's going to push you. They'll tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And that's the dynamic that both of these two have. And I love that Miguel calls him bro. Like, they've come so far from where they started in season 1 on the beach. And look at them now. You know, I'm honestly, every scene that they're in is freaking gold. And it's a testament to the quality of the writing in this show when you can make me care for 2 new gen characters versus 2 legacy characters. Now, let's use a Star Wars example to back that up. I like Rey and I freaking adore Ben Solo, but I prefer Luke and Han massively. I love Johnny Lawrence and I love Daniel LaRusso. I love Robbie Keane and I love Miguel Diaz. Like, on it, what other shows and movies do you get that with in mainstream media? Yes, obviously, when it pertains to these two, yes, we can all have a back and forth about who should win overall, who's had this, who's second place, who's the GOAT. Yeah, okay, cool. You can debate that live long day. You can do that with anything. Hell, I'm a sports fan. to me, there's more of a deeper message here with both of these two being on the same side than anything else. And I freaking love these two. Honestly, give them the world. Like, give Miguel Stanford, give Robby a future sensei role, you know, have them win it as a family. And I think that's the angle the show's going for. With all the points and the way the point system works, yeah, Miguel will inevitably finish Axel off, but it'll be Robby being the one saying, hey, can you get your shit together? And if you've seen Rocky, you know where they're going. Robby is basically Apollo, you know, Axel is Drago, and Miguel is Rocky. Like, it's and with the way Miguel was pushing Robby in part 2, Robby will then do the same for Miguel in part 3. It goes around and it shows what the show has been trying to present to people for years. And I remember all the videos I did, like when season 4 was happening. Oh, these two will never be friends. They're rivals. They're enemies. Just because you like toxicity in your life doesn't mean that's how most people operate. I think these two right here are very mature. The growth they have displayed is incredible. I just wish they would stop doing this thing with Robby where they make him look at like, stop making Robby look at people when he's locking in. Let him lock in. A focused Robby is arguably the best fighter on the show of the kids by a mile. When Miguel is on smoke, best fighter of the kids by a mile. If Miguel wants to turn up, oh, he absolutely will. And that little complementary dynamic. Now, to be fair to the story, 6 out of 10 times, Miguel's going to win out of the 10. The only reason Robby loses that additional one is because they'll have him look at Kenny or Tori, something they do throughout the whole show. And, you know, to add on to that, it's harder for people to take you seriously when you say they're equals, when you have Miguel going solo 2 fighters, bang, like that, as Robby can't even freaking focus and gets distracted. Of course, people are going to say Miguel's better. And again, you can go back and forth with that all live long day. But the point is these two are on the same side. It doesn't get won without them. And I love the fact, and this goes into my next video with Axel, I love that Axel is a beast. Axel is the best fighter of the kids. Miguel alone could not take Axel. Robby alone could never take Axel. Axel is too good. Axel is a 2-man job. I think this is why you have weight divisions in sports, you know? You're going to see how Robby and Miguel wear him down one after the other because that's what needs to happen. The dude's a 7-foot tank. Like, it's not, there's no attainable way, but even by plot, that Robby or Miguel beat Axel alone. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. But guys and girls, jump in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think of their journey so far. And please try and keep the comments positive. You know, I know sometimes I can be a bit more lenient to Robby. I get that. But guys, I'm only human. I'm a fan just like you guys. Sometimes, you know, yeah, I try and be as objective as I can. But I'm just a fan too. I'm here to enjoy the content and enjoy the journey the same way you are. And at the same time, I'd rather be enjoying it and having good discourse and conversation versus people calling me an idiot for a show that's literally about to end and we don't get Cobra Kai often. Once this show is once this is done, this is it. Like, cue the locker room scene. It's done. And I also freaking adore that. Even though Robby gives the who are we Miyagi-Do speech, Miguel's the one that says we're a family. That's how you honor both. And I freaking love it. Guys and girls, I'll see you in another video soon. And I just had a flashback to where he's like, you know, already when you are runner-up, name the time and the place.